Mike Davis is usually my co-host. He's out on vacation this weekend, so I was super excited to have Kelley here to help interview you. She herself raced, and I'm curious about, Kelley, your emotions when you're thinking about Hailie and her future and how she's doing. You as a driver, you know how that world is. What kind of emotions do you have when you look at her and see her having success and knowing that there's potential there?
Well, I think the cool thing is, like, I always tell everybody I live vicariously through Danica when she was here because, you know, I raced too and it was a different era. Glad I'm in the business world now. But seeing your spark and just your personality to also go along with your talent is awesome. It's hard to support female racers, like you said, that have a lot of other motives and performance and what they're doing on track doesn't always look like it's the most important thing that they're doing, you know? So I think seeing that bundled up in you is really cool. I just want to see, more than one of you make it, you know, at the top level, because I think there's a lot of opportunity for you guys. There's a lot of sponsor opportunity, but that's why I was asking about the female aspect of it, because I think it should be celebrated. And especially when there's few and far between that get to, you know, the NASCAR ranks. And you look out, like you said, you look out over the dirt world and you look out in late models and all of this. There's female racers out there, and there's a lot of them. They just all don't get the opportunity to get to where we are. And, you know, people ask me why don't females make it? And the number one reason to me is that nobody will give them a chance. You know, there's performance out there. There's lots of raw talent out there, but a car owner and or a sponsor will not give them a chance. And taking it, I wanted to elaborate on too what you said about taking it slow, because that's important. It's important because of your age, for one, because like you said, right now it's like you get in and you need to have results quickly, or it's or you're set to the side really quickly. So I think that's really smart of you too, to take as many years as you need. I wish Danica would have stayed with us another full Xfinity year. You know, she was here 2 half seasons essentially while she was running Indy cars, and then only one season with us. And, you know, I think if she could have she was improving and she could have got some wins under her belt in the Xfinity series, that would have helped her when she moved to the Cup Series, you know, as well. So I'm excited for you. It's I just love it. I mean, I want a female to make it so bad. I grew up with Shauna Robinson and Patty Moise and people like that I was big fans of and cheered for. And I just think that the sport needs it, and that they want it. The fans want it. I mean, I think that's why they're so wrapped around you and engaged in you, because you're engaged. And so I'm ready for it to happen.
Thank you. Yeah, but I totally agree. I think that if I have to spend another year down in ARCA in the K&N series just so I could have a 5-year longer career, I'm willing to do that 100%. Like, I just don't want to go too fast. But also, I think being a girl in racing has its pros and cons. I feel like
absolutely.
It has. Okay, you're a girl, you get a shot, you have some money behind you, but in the end, not everyone's willing to work with you. The hardest thing for me going into the K&N series that I didn't realize was going to be a problem is having crew chiefs work with you. That's the hardest thing, is having crew chiefs work with you, because first of all, they see you as a little girl, and they're like, oh, she don't know what she's talking about. And so it took the longest time for me to earn the respect of these guys that have been there forever, all these mechanics and everyone in these, just that have been doing it for a long time. When you get these older guys that just are set in their ways, it's hard for them to move out, be in a different situation. And so that took me a long time. I'd say I lost about half my season was just meshing with the crew chief, and I'm on my 4th crew chief now. And I'm finally realizing what I need out of a crew chief, and crew chiefs are now realizing what they need out of me. And I feel like a talkative person, so I give a lot of information, and so it's been helping. But that was the hardest thing for me, was just getting crew chiefs and people to believe in me.
Absolutely. That's hard, whether you're a guy or a girl. But to draw some parallels with Kelley's late model career, I was with her when she would go to the track, help build one car at least. But I worked on a car on the weekend, and that was the one thing that stood out to me in her career, and seeing other female drivers from a bit more distance is getting people to believe in their future and getting people to believe in their ability and trusting what Kelley's saying about her car and how it's driving and what she wants it to do and what it's not doing. And typically we had a bad habit of trying to tell Kelley to change her driving style. And instead,
I've had a lot of crew chiefs tell me to change my driving. I'm like, I know how to drive one way, and so I'm like, I can't change it.
Exactly. You'll fix the car if you do this. And you just. But I can totally. And the longer I worked with Kelley, the more I got to seeing how difficult it was for her, emotionally to like, somebody listen to me. This thing will not turn in the middle of the corner. It doesn't drive off the corner well. So that can be really frustrating. But I've been in parts of my career too where no one believed.
Yeah.
No one on the team, it felt like, believed that I was the guy for the for the job. And that can be really frustrating.
Do you feel like the guys race you harder?
That's like the most debated question on social media right now. And in the end, at the beginning, yes. I felt like I was very taken advantage of. People would, she's on my outside, we'll use her up a little bit more. She ain't going to do anything about it. And I was like that in the beginning because I was just so new to it. I was like, I don't want to wreck the car. I don't want to do this. I don't know how much the nose can take. And I just coming from off-road racing, it was halfway through the season, I just changed my mentality. I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm over this. I was like, we're going to go get after it. I was like, I'm over these 40-year-old guys thinking they can just push me off the track. I was like, listen here. I was like, I am coming for you guys next, okay? And ever since then, I just started throwing my elbows up, and I'm like, I don't care what people say. If you're going to run me hard, I'm going to run you hard. Just because you take the first swing and I finish it, doesn't mean. I was like, you're the one that started it. If you want to start it, I am going to finish it. And so, and everyone's like, oh, well, the only reason you win races is because you pass them on the last lap. I'm like, no, I don't pass them on the last lap because that's the only time I can. I was like, I pass them on the last lap because I know they're not. That's when you need to. I was like, I know they're not. I have this all planned out. Like, I could have, for my first win, there's different times, like I could have passed this person. I could have hit him 2 laps before. I could have gave him a little nudge up the track. But chances are they're coming back after that.
Sure.
So I had this all planned out. It happens always in the last corner. Always in the last corner. And that's something me and my driving coach have always went over the years of training and just perfecting how 2 laps to go. Okay, we have our kind of allies before the race, but 2 laps to go, no one's your friend.
Sure.
And especially now since we've been running a little harder and we've all been running each other harder. I've noticed less people talk to me at the track. I have spent a lot more time hanging out in my hauler, and so it gives me more time for social media, but it's just different because in the end, I don't want to have to run people that hard, but I do it for a reason. I just don't do this for no reason. Like this last race at Oregon, all of a sudden we're running okay, running good, and then all of a sudden and we're running clean. I was like, not going to knock the nose off of it, just making clean passes, and all of a sudden this guy comes back behind me and hits me, and I was like, game on, let's go. And so after that, I was like, okay, bump and runs are coming. Next thing you know, 4 bump and runs later, we're past people. And so once people start it, it's fair game after that.
Yeah. Have you noticed a change in other people's driving styles since you become a little more aggressive on the track and they're not pushing around quite as much?
100%. I wouldn't say they're not pushing around as much. There's a couple guys that, I don't want to say it, but like have learned their lesson to not like, she's around us, like I'm make sure I don't hit her.
Yeah.
And so there's guys that'll play it smart, but then there's also the ones that haven't learned. Like I can name a few, I'm not going to, but there's probably one specifically where you get next to him, purposely turns like out Sonoma. We're going down to the turn 11, and I'm on the inside perfectly at his door. Turns 4 times into my door. Thank God there's a caution because I went spinning on like the infield area. And so it was just different things like that. But obviously, if I'm going to give it, I have to be able to take it. So I'm okay with it now. Now that I'm like, okay, we've got our wins. I've capitalized on everything. I was kind of expecting that. I told the guy at Toyota that I deal with for all my deals and races I'm going to. And he's like, how do you feel about the car? I was like, the car's not the problem. I was like, there's an 80% chance I'm getting taken out this race. He's like, if not, we have a shot at it. And so I've accepted it now. And I think that I'm okay with it. Obviously, I'm not going to win every single race. I'd rather have a wreck going for a win than settle in third. That's the hardest thing for me, is settling in third and just sitting back. It's just like, oh, I could have done so much more.
Sure.
Knowing that you could have done so much more, you didn't lay it all on the table or have the best finish for what your crew gave you. Those are races that hurt the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a driver's worst, I don't know if it's not the worst fear, but the one thing, like if you get bumped, you have to go back and give it back to them, because you'll get a quickly, especially like the higher you go in the Xfinity and the trucks and the Cup Series, especially the Cup Series. If they all see it, you're out on the racetrack and a guy bumps you and you don't do anything. Everyone saw that.
Oh, everyone does, yeah.
And everyone goes, oh, okay, he's not going to do anything. And everybody starts using you up, driving you into the fence off the corner. And it's like, yeah, you got to stick up for yourself.
Yeah, got to put your foot down.
Absolutely.